Great. So I was doing a whole explanation of what I did yesterday, and I forgot to hit live on go live on YouTube. So hi YouTube, sorry for that. um, so yeah, I was just talking about how I put the code for yesterday on GitHub, so everybody can see the stuff that I made for day 1 and 2 so far, and I will push all the new things up here as well. I haven't done day 3 yet. I will read that in a minute. I was just going over what I did to change yesterday's code. So a quick recap so that it's also on the VOD. I have these helper functions here. This is the path that I started yesterday with finding a better way than to just brute force all the options. I didn't brute force all the options, but I did like for 1 to 10, try every combination there. So instead what I do was write some code that figures out, okay, is the number divisible in a certain way, and if so, and it's more than one repeat, add how many repetitions you can get for that number, because the solver that we wrote, the find possible patterns, just asks how many times should the pattern repeat to make that value, and based off of that it does its magic, right? So I removed all the parsing except for this one, because this one is not so clear because you have a number of repetitions. This one was just easier to do like this. And all the other ones you can see here, you will get the repeat function where you have the section that you want and how many times you repeat it, and it used the powers of 10 to combine that, like you see here in the intermediate window. It uses this, basically this strategy to build up the numbers. So yeah, then I went back to the part 2 and I used my code to get those. That's this cache function here. Basically it goes through the start and end length. So if it's 999 to 1010, it will have 3 and 4. So we'll check for lengths of 3 and lengths of 4, in which ways you can divide that number. It will return that, and then yeah, it becomes the same as before. It just doesn't do a lot of unneeded steps. So it looks maybe a lot more complicated, but this was the idea that I had in my mind yesterday. But this number that I fed in here was actually how the number could be divided and not how many times a pattern could repeat, which is the part that we actually needed to know. And we can deduce that from the other stuff. So yeah, that was day 2. Let's start reading day 3 and see what they have in store for us. I've already heard people say that it's easier, or an easy day. So yeah, let's see how difficult it is. So a sip of my cappuccino. Okay, let's see. Day 3, lobby. You descend a short staircase, enter the surprisingly vast lobby, and are quickly cleared by the security checkpoint. When you get to the main elevators, however, you discover that each one has a red light above it. They're all offline. Sorry about that, an elf apologizes as she tinkers with a nearby control panel. Some kind of electrical surge seemed to have fried them. I'll try to get them online soon. You explain you need to get further underground. Well, you could at least take the escalator down to the printing department. Not that you'd get much further than that without the elevators working. That is, you could if the escalators weren't also offline. But don't worry, it's not fried. It just needs power. Maybe you can get it running while I keep working on the elevators. Okay, so that's probably some foreshadowing for coming days. There are batteries near that can supply emergency power to the escalator for just such an occasion. The batteries are each labeled with their joltage rating, a value from 1 to 9. You make a note of their joltage ratings, your puzzle input. For example, and then we have a whole grid of numbers. The batteries are arranged into banks. Each line of digits in your input corresponds to a single bank of batteries. Within each bank, you need to turn on exactly 2 batteries. The joltage that the bank produces is equal to the number formed by the digits on the batteries you've turned on. For example, if you have a bank like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you turn on on batteries 2 and 4, the bank would produce 24 jolts. You cannot rearrange batteries, okay? You need to find the largest possible joltage each bank can produce. In the above example, 9 and 8, you can make the largest joltage position 98 by turning on the first two batteries. Okay, this is simple enough so far. And Marte says, watching from the tram going home, so I'll just watch for now, but harder to respond. No worries. Thanks and welcome. Always nice to have you in here. So yeah, this is fairly basic. So like you start at 1 and then you take the largest number that you see, and as soon yeah, the first largest number, but let me think. Because this is a nice case. You take the largest number for everything except the last, because you need to have 2 digits, and then you take the first largest number after that. So this is a great example too, that might trip up if you just take the first largest number, because that would be a 9, but it would be in the end, so you don't have another one. So, okay. In this way you can make 78 by turning on the last 2 batteries. Okay, blah blah blah, sure. Yeah, so basically the logic is here. Take every digit except the last, get the highest number, and then look at the numbers after that and take the largest from that one. Let's see, the total output joltage is the sum of the maximum joltage from each bank. So in this example, the total output would be, okay. There are many batteries in front of you, find the maximum joltage possible. Okay, okay. So basically this would be like, okay, you split this, you turn it into a char array, you take the last one out, get the largest number from that, and then after that scan it for the next largest number. I wonder if there's a nice way to not have to search the same space twice, but we'll figure it out. Okay, let's let me clone. No, let's clone day 0. I already zoomed this in. This will become day 3. Fine. Day 3, 3, 3. Okay. Why doesn't this align like this? It aligns to the bottom one, so this is a multi-line string, but like with the tab or the control navigation, it doesn't jump to the start of the line. So that's a small thing that I didn't like about Visual Studio there. GLDV, welcome. Hi, welcome to the stream. I see it's the first time chatting, so welcome. Have you done Advent of Code today? Let's see. So yeah, the strategy is basically, and I also need to capture the test result for the first part. We put it in here. By the way, this standard for me, how I do this with writing this test, this was so useful when refactoring the code from yesterday. So you can easily know when you break something. JVDL says, yeah, I finished this morning before work. Nice, nice. Yeah, I used to do it in the morning as well. And the benefit of that is that I get to watch all the other people do it as well over the day. But I have 2 daughters that also like to watch me from time to time, and they like to see it live. So I promised them I would stream in the evening after dinner. So here we are. Fair enough. Yeah, yeah. And I still watch it back sometimes, so like from some other people. There are the same people that do this every year. I'm one of them, but I like to see how other people do it as well. Okay, so today was more fun than day 1 and 2. Okay, I'm curious. So yeah, let's see. The strategy was, so we do input 2 lines, and we can do for each string line in this. And there is a link way to do this. So you would take line. Would it actually be 0 dot minus 1 for the thing? Yeah, I think so. Let me just do it here. We can test that 1, 2, 3, and we do 0 dot minus 1. It doesn't like that. So it won't do that. Okay. I wonder if there's a different notation for it. No. Okay. No matter. I can do line dot length minus 1. That also works. Why doesn't it like this? What am I doing here? Yeah, string. Like this. So was it just complaining because I didn't assign it, or was it something else? Let's see if it runs. Because I'm pretty sure there is a way to do it from the back, but we'll see. JVDL says, if I can't solve D4 before work tomorrow, maybe I should stream it also. Yeah. Yeah. I find a lot of satisfaction from streaming it. It's a lot of fun for me to do. I like to do it because there's lots of nice people here around that also appreciate it. And it's a nice way to share the hobby that is coding for me. So if you're not shy about it, I would highly recommend streaming it because there's lots of cool people around that also like doing this. Let's see. Actually, this is not the way to do it because we need to know the index because we need to know the next one. So let's see. Do int biggest index is 0. JVL says, no, I'm not shy. I did it for 1 or 2 days last year, but AC doesn't bring in a lot of viewerships. Yeah, I'm not here to make money or anything. It's just fun. So yeah, and I only stream Advent of Code just because I like it and I don't have time during the rest of the year. So, but I have to say, like, I think peak last year there were like 20 or 30 people at some time. So that's still pretty cool. You get bored if people don't talk back. Wow, yeah. It's always nice to have people in chat, I must admit. Let's see. So we have to loop through the characters here. So you go for int I is 0, then last is line.length minus 1 because we want to skip the last one. I smaller than last. We increment I like this. This needs to be a semicolon. So we can do it char based actually. I think char biggest is 0. If line I is larger than biggest, sure, and biggest. Okay. I kind of don't like this autocomplete. I might want to turn that off later on, but basically that's what I was doing. So now we need to go past that and find the biggest one after that. Second biggest also 0. Second. So we do second biggest index is biggest index plus 1. And we do the same here, except we start at I equals second biggest index here. This becomes len. And we take everything till the end. JVDL says, I should get back into C#. I haven't touched it since 2010. I just use Python plus VS Code every year. Ah, okay. Yeah, Python is always a quick way to do stuff like this. I'm really a fan of C#, so I program in it daily. So for me, it's a no-brainer. I actually recently, I think it was yesterday, I was watching somebody's video and they were talking about how they do like a negative number and use modulus to make it a positive number as well instantly. And I was like, that's not correct, because like if I do minus 155 mod 100, it gives me minus 55. And the same if you do it in JavaScript, it will also, like if I take the developer tab here, boom, and if I do blah, I do minus 100, yeah, it gives you 55, right? But in Python, it will actually return 55 instead of minus 55. So, and there's a few others. I think Java does it as well. So it was a surprise to me, because I was already in the comment section saying like, you're actually wrong there, because if you modulo a negative number, the negative doesn't go away, the negative sign. But actually in Python it did, and I didn't know that. So I learned something. Yeah, JVDL says, yeah, Python will sign based on the second operand to the modulo. So, okay. Yeah, go all out with Visual Studio. Yep. Visual Studio is, in general, if you really do C# programming, the actual Visual Studio is a nicer environment than VS Code, personally. So let's get back to the coding here. Same logic here. If line I is larger than second biggest, we do second biggest index equals I. Come on, can't type. And the second biggest is this. Okay, so it goes over that right line. We do blah, becomes line, becomes biggest, second biggest. Okay. And we do p1 plus equals long.parse, actually not long, int.parse. I should probably do long, because it has bitten me in the behind more than once. So for the test case it doesn't matter, later on it will probably matter. So yeah, let's run this and see if it works. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's not correct. How does it get that one? I don't reset it, that's why. So smart. Let's reset, and biggest index is second biggest index is 0. So we can remove this in here because we reset it every time. Okay. I always try to put working variables outside of for loops to just not do any allocations, but you have to remember to reset your stuff if that's needed. So yeah. Part 1 worked, it breaks in part 2 because I didn't set it that way. So yeah, let's run the real code here. The real input numbers are 100-digit long. Nice. Oh, okay. So that might be an issue then. Do I have... Yeah, it doesn't matter because this one will only be two digits, so that's fine. So let's see, answer 2. Woohoo! First gold star in the bag. Okay, nice. Yep, and I have a nice AOC star for that. Let's see to part 2. The escalator doesn't move. The elf explains that it probably needs more joltage to overcome the static friction of the system and hits the big red joltage limit safety override button. You lose count of the number of times you needed to confirm "yes, I'm sure" and decorate the lobby a bit while you wait. Thanks, Amate. Now you need to make the largest joltage by turning on exactly 12 batteries within each bank. The joltage output for the bank is still the number formed by the digit of the batteries you've turned on. The only difference is that now there will be 12 digits in each bank joltage output instead of 2. Consider blah, okay. Blah, 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 the logic, some ones at the end, okay. So it's the same except recursion here. Boom, 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 boom. For the digit sequence, it's not that hard. Okay. So what we basically need to do is turn this into a function that says, okay, you have to skip so much from the end. So we put in the real answer here, answer 1, and then we put in the test answer for this one. That started to get big. I wonder if it goes famous last words. It's not, don't overthink it. Okay, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Like that. So, so basically it would be char largest index get largest string value int pom 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 pom. I was thinking I could just say how much I need to reserve at the end. This one would work like this. So you had char biggest int biggest index. So this will be is 0 is 0. Oh no, we need start index here. You can do it two ways. You can either do a substring and pass it around and just let's say like, okay, hey, get me the largest character in this one for this range, and you just return it like that. Or you can have a function and like, you know the array copy functions in C#, where you just have like, okay, I need to copy from this to this and start there and there. That's basically what I'm thinking. So instead of creating new strings, we just pass the same thing around, or the same char array. Maybe I just need to do char like this, and then we do start int and something like that. So then you do this. So you do I is start, last is value.length minus end, and these are the numbers from the end, not the end position here. and then you do value like this, value, and then you do return biggest index. So now if we would do it like this, first equals get largest, and we just bypass the old code here and just rewrite the first part to use the new logic like this, right? Just to ascertain that my way of thinking is correct, so it should work for this one. So you do line to char array 0, and then it's line.length minus 1. Actually, in this one, 1 from the end would be the answer there, would be the value there. And then we do var second is get largest. So I can do this chars, and we do first dot index plus 1 and then 0. And then we do this part here, and now it should be the same as before. First largest, second dot largest, let's see. So let's run this again. Boom. It passes the first, so it works, right? It works for the first part. That is fine. So now we can remove all this code because we shortened it a bit. And I might want to commit like a version. That's something that I didn't think of. Yeah, I'll do that later. Because if I open GitHub now, it's possible that it switches my desktops and does weird things. Wait, I can check it here. Let me just try it now. GitHub, desktop. Does it switch my thing? Nope. Okay. Just need to make sure that I don't do anything to show client stuff, etc. So yeah, I can go back. Let's see. So this is my GitHub. So I can say day 1, day 3, first gold star. Boom. So now it's on GitHub. Nice. I should have done that before I'd done the refactor. Let me remind me of that next time. So part 2 is basically we need 12, right? So the amount of digits that we need. So for int I is 1, actually is 11, I larger equal to 0, like this. So we do a list of this, list of this, values. We still need to do this. Boom. Okay, chars. Okay, like this. And then we do values, come on, values that add, and then we do get largest. This becomes chars. Int last index is 0. Okay, so we do last index, and this one becomes I. All right. We do it like this. Now we add it, biggest. Like this. We do update last index. Last index is biggest index plus 1. And this will mean that we can do them all. So now we do this. P2 becomes, and this one becomes a string.join empty space, string.empty actually, and then we do values.select biggest, largest. It's good that I mix them up here. So this will be our value. Let's put that here. Long local result equals this. Long local like that, and then we add local result. Okay, so this should be our part 2 as well. So let's do test this true. Let's see if this works. Boom, it worked right away. I'm always scared when it runs and works without crashing. Do we overflow something when I do this? Do I have to go to big ends as a twist? Woohoo! Second gold star. Okay, yeah, this was really easy. Boom. 2 gold stars in the pocket. Nice. Yeah, that was fairly simple. But fun. Let's commit. This is day 3, part 2. Commit and push. So code is already up to date. Now I'm curious to see how everybody else did. For those of you that don't know, I have people on my Discord and we share code there. So if you want to share your code as well for me to look at, feel free to join the Discord and put it in show off your stuff. So yeah, do I need to clean up something here? No, I think this is fine. I just need to, I always forget that because I have a tendency to sometimes go back and tweak stuff because I want to try something else. I just need to make sure that I put my answer in there as well. Marta says, cool, that was fast indeed. JVDL says, I'm off to have supper. If you're on tomorrow again, I might check. Yeah, I will. I'm trying to stream every evening, so enjoy your supper. And thanks of you to stop by. It's always nice to have people stop by while I'm coding. Thanks. Let's see what everybody did. The first one was SMAP this morning at 7. What was this? Let's see. This is day 2. He was on YouTube yesterday. He joined. So let's see. A no strings version. Let's see. Yep. How did he do part 2 then? Okay. He just tried everyone in between there. That makes sense. And okay, yeah, this, like, I did the whole complicated thing here where I did I did this thing and this thing and then combined those. But he just said, well, okay, if I have a 10-digit number, I just go from 1 to 5 and then I'll jump out if it's not divisible. So that's maybe maybe better or cleaner. This is at least easier to follow and to explain, right? I like it. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, nice. So, SMAP, let's see what you did today. Zoom in a bit. Let's see. Has a conversion to bank, so that's probably, I hear bank, voltage, parse. Everything is digits. Like, okay, so this is an int. Ah, okay, so he converts it to an int here. Wait. Why an int here? Ah, no, never. Wait, let me see. Is there another type here? The bank. Oh, wait, that's the battery thing. Ah, it's the battery. Okay, where is the battery record? And the battery has. Okay. Am I missing something here? Let's see. Ah, okay, he parsed each one of them into a okay, never mind. Everything became a single int. So it's just, yeah, okay, I got it now. Never mind. It's a bit overkill to have everything as an int when it's just a single value between 0 and 9, but maybe expected that values have to be combined later on. Let's see. Number of batteries, okay. That's at least a good way to name this. Battery needed started in x is 0. All batteries needed is larger than 1. Looking at yeah, sure. Okay, so this determines how much you can, sure. And then you have the basically the same logic there. Yep, clean, simple. Well, takes a bit to get, but it's simple in the end. It's probably just me that takes a bit to read it. Let's see what Amarte did. Let's see, all digits, line to char array, sure. Ah, okay, you converted it to actual numbers. Sure. This was the notation that I was looking for. It's not -1, it was, I was like, was it tilde? No, it was that one. So yeah, so it's, I couldn't remember it. So 0, that was the notation that I was looking for. See, I knew it existed, but I just couldn't remember the C# syntax for it. Thanks, Amarte, for coming in clutch there, because I couldn't remember. Let's see. I want to. Okay. Using this, it saves you a parse because you used the the char code minus the char code of 0 will give you the actual value of the number of using the char code order. So that's nice. It's probably more efficient than what I do to parse the two strings together. It's always a nice way to optimize it. Let's see, maximum index of m1 plus 1. Wait, what? Ah, it starts. Never mind. I was like, is this a search? But no, it just says, okay, take this array, start one after we found it, and just get the max value from that. Sure. Yeah, makes sense. Um, but now you have to, that's the only downside of this way. That's why I started like, okay, we can just take all the values and get the highest value because we don't care, but you actually need to find the index. So that's why, like a find, like the iterative version where you loop through it, it saves you an additional lookup of having to do an index of uh, this one. That's also, nah, that's, it's not efficient, but it would be like a lazy way to do it. That you just go like 9 index of, and then you get the number, and then you compare like the indices for all the for all the highest numbers. Like if there's a the index of 9 and it's not the last digit, you can take that, and otherwise you take the 8. And, but yeah, that just means scanning the range multiple times. It's not efficient, but it would be a nice, a funny, lazy way to go about it. But yeah. Let's see for part 2. This is something that I used to do before as well. That if there's like a shared state that I could use, that I would just go in here, and I didn't do that today as well. That you have like in the constructor or something, um, that you put some preparation of the data here. So like parsing it all so that you don't have to do it twice in part 1 and part 2. But there's not much overhead here. But when looking at the code, I immediately see like, oh yeah, do the same thing again, and I do the same because I just pasted the code. But yeah. You're on YouTube as well. Like you switched over from Twitch to YouTube. I just noticed it. Oh no, yeah, my bad. I didn't recognize the name, but I do recognize the icon. Um, Please look at the comments below as to why lighted chart is being used. Okay, let's see. Part 1 speeds. It does have two phones. Okay. Let's see. Interval range 0 to 12 aggregate. Okay. The method of one is not more. Okay, let's see. Line that selects and make the runtime grow to over to. Okay. I like that when you look at. That's something that I don't do a lot, but if you go to like the C# Discord, etc., for the language, there's a .NET Discord. Like I think it's this one. They usually have here they have an advent of code, and these people are always like going for the optimal and the least memory and the fastest execution and like optimize allocations and stuff like that. It's a fun rabbit hole to dive into, but I wish I just had more time to play with everything. I'm just happy that I can do the code, stream it, and look at what everybody else is doing. Let's see. Interesting. Let's see. Wrong Discord. Okay, that were the submissions, I think. Oh no, there was one more. Oh no, Luke was also here. Let me see. What did Luke say? Today was an easy one, he said. Okay. Am I strange for wanting syntax highlighting? I'm just gonna paste it below here to read. Let's see. Interested though. Okay, he also parses every char as an integer. Am I the only weirdo that just keeps it as characters? Let's see. Max index is battery.count. First max is battery take. Okay. So, sure. So it creates a new subset of the array, and then does max that. Yeah, it's basically the same as you did, Amarte. Just finding it and then doing it again to find where it was. So like, we should probably do a max with index function or something, so that you should probably write it. Actually, I did wrote it. Basically, that's the function I wrote, actually. Yeah, this is like a max with index that returns the value plus the index where it's found. So maybe you should copy this and make the code more efficient. So base one is par, that. Same here. Okay, so instead of going down on the iterative loop, just subtract it here, works as well. Yeah, just growing like this is a neat trick for shifting. Basically what you do is you grow the result by 10 every time you add a new one there. So I've seen it before, but I didn't click until now. So that's a clever way to concat numbers like that, right? So every time you have to add a number, you can just multiply the current value that you have by 10, and that basically shifts the decimal, the base 10 number one to the left, and you can append the next one here. So yeah. Hey Smap, welcome. You're just too late, I already finished, I'm afraid. But there will be a VOD on YouTube if you want to see. How did you go about it? Looks like I got here much too late. Yeah, sorry. It was pretty quickly today though. I also have the code on GitHub now, by the way. I pasted in Luke's code here to read it because he put it on without syntax highlighting here. So I just pasted it below my code to read it. So basically the solution that I did was I wrote a function basically inspired by like the array copy thing where you paste it in but also say from which to which end you want to search. I saw lots of people like doing a max and then doing an index off to get it again, so I just made sure to do it in one go to not have to do that twice. But yeah, other than that, it wasn't that hard. Both worked the first go, I think. So yeah, that's nice. So yeah, that's it for today. Smap says it was very easy today, so I've been writing source generators to make my code so much more readable. Okay, nice. So yeah, that's it for today. It was a quick one. Sorry that you're just came in just when I was about to end. Marta says, got back home. Sorry I didn't respond before. I just played with the double loop. Yeah, no worries, man. Thinking it would be faster than split of list, but turned out C# does some shadow copy magic, and that's simple. Oh, that one is faster, even with index off. Then there's 2 for I. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I started out like I couldn't remember the notation for from the back, so I just I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna make extra copies and do allocations at all. I'll just make sure that I pass this in and just do it once. So I think this is fairly efficient. yeah, so I like what I did today. So yeah, that's it for today. I remember that I never rated somebody in the first few days. So I think I'm gonna quickly check to see if there's anybody on Twitch that's also doing Advent of Code still. So let me see if there. Let's see, somebody else is doing Advent of Code. So I think we'll just rate them. Let's see if I have. Do I have sound on? So I think we'll just rate them. Let's see if I have. Oh, do I have sound on? I need to mute myself. What are they doing? Root minimum. Oh my god. Let's see. AOC tag. I'm not sure if that's the one to rate. That might be fun, but.
Maximum voltage possible from
Okay.
each bank. What is
Yeah, I think we're gonna rate this guy.
Okay.
If you don't mind. So thanks everybody, and let's go rate them, say hi, and hopefully see you again tomorrow. So let's do rate plus mid. I think that should be it. So yeah, thanks everybody,
I can't live translate.
and yeah, hope to see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
I tried to read such text to someone who doesn't speak English, and try to live translate while I was reading it, and my brain just got so confused.